Josh, come on. Let's go. Malcolm, Henry.
Check, check, check. Toot. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Okay.
Okay, this couch ain't too squishy. This is good. We were afraid we were all going to be like a taco.
We had to get Malcolm in the middle.
Okay.
All right, guys. Stand over here, away from that. This is for all three of you. You know, Lost was such a cultural phenomenon. What was it like being part of a show that people are still debating years later?
Wow, start with an easy one. You said you're going to start with an easy one.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to still be talked about, if that matters. Good to be a part of something that is, I still don't understand what happened. So maybe you guys can help me with the ending.
It's something you can't really ask for, you know, but when it happens, you're very appreciative and get to meet all the dope people, you know, you get to connect with on the show, or connect with through the show. It's amazing. And 20 years later, you know, people get to watch it for the first time, you get to see it on Netflix, and something you can enjoy with your family. Like, it's just awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, for me, it's just an honor to be involved with it. I mean, who knew when we were doing the show that it would turn out to be the show that it is? So I just feel very grateful. It certainly gave me my career as an actor. I just feel I'm very honored, very, very lucky to be part of the show.
Were there any pranks or funny moments between cast members that the fans might not know about?
I was the youngest, so I probably missed a lot of that. I'm just gonna start there and I'll let them take it away.
Yeah, we had to earmuff this one a lot, you know, but he was wisely stayed out of our shenanigans. But I do remember, it wasn't really a prank, but me and Ian decided we were going to join a soccer league. And the first game, they hauled Ian off in a golf cart and busted his leg, but then they wrote it in the script somewhere where he was like limping. Remember that?
Yeah, so I played in a team, Pearl City, and I said, Josh, come and play.
Yes.
And I didn't know it then, I had partially torn my ACL. And then Josh, so I was taking it easy and Josh was on the field. And I thought, I'll last 15 minutes, I'll run out. And then I completely blew my ACL. And then I did it again. I'm just recovering now, just 5 months out of my ACL surgery. So I didn't learn my lesson. But it all worked out okay for the show. So, yeah. But that wasn't really a prank, that was just dumb.
Exactly. The pranks we can't really tell you.
There's a lot of times playing, like Josh would,
world.
you would just often play the guitar with Terry and Naveen and sing songs and.
Yes, that was it was a special time before digital where it took a long time to turn the set around and relight it, and so you had these like an hour in between, so that gave us these opportunities to sit around and have these jams, which was really special and turned out to be some of my favorite experiences on the show was in between takes, you know, getting to play guitar. And
there were a lot of talented guitarists.
There were.
A lot of talented singers.
Yes.
Naveen is a phenomenal guitarist.
Right.
Josh is pretty good. Josh actually came out, I think when we were in Hawaii last, played with us. I have a little band and Josh came out and played with us. That was great.
It's a lot of fun. I'm terrible, but
He's not at all, he's great.
All right, one more. If the cast were actually stranded on an island, which actor do you think would have the best survival skills?
Who would have the best survival skills?
wow.
You know, I started watching things like, do you watch things like Alone? I love that show. You know, and I think I've got to learn how to make fire. Like, making fire. So whoever can make fire, I don't know, could anyone make fire? I'm guessing Naveen, probably. His character was a military.
I might survive because I'm a scavenger. And I wouldn't need to make fire. I would take everyone's lighters. You know.
Survival of the fittest. Okay.
Who knows? I'm actually not, I've often asked myself that. Could you survive out there? And probably not. You know, I like a good steak and TV at night. You know, it might be tough.
Hello. Hi, my name is Nico. Thank you so much for being here. We love you guys. We love the show. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
My question is, you gave us such good performances throughout the show. Is there something that when you saw yourselves in the show, you were like, man, you're proud of that performance that you guys did? Like a specific scene or something? I know it's a harsh question.
Wow. Go ahead. Well, none of my scenes with Malcolm, because you can't work with a kid or an animal. They just blow you away out of every scene. So I was like, oh, I gotta work with Malcolm. He's gonna make me look like crap. He's so good. And if the dog's involved, I'm out of it. You know, but you know, kids and dogs, they blow you away. But you know, I did like the scene where I had to hold Juliet. That was kind of a touching scene that we didn't, at the time it was, well, more physical than anything. So when you saw it, it was really good.
You go.
Who were all my question people? I know that.
Okay. There was a scene I did with Jeremy Davies. Later on, I think season 5 or something, and I was trying something. I thought, I'm going to try and not overact. I'm going to try and underact. And so I did this scene, and I was really excited about it, thinking, I gave a non-performance performance here. And then Jeremy, who's a fantastic actor, and he's off the cuff, and he says whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He had to ADR his scene, which means he had to loop his lines, and he couldn't loop them because, you know, the way he performs, it's so kind of off the cuff. So we had to reshoot the scene. So I never got to see the scene, and I was like, damn, I wanted to see how that scene turned out. And anyway, I went back to my old overacting stuff, so that was the scene I never saw.
I don't have a great story like that, but I just loved every moment being on set and working with everybody. I think that was just big for me, and yeah, I loved it. I loved the moments, so that's all.
Hi. All right. So all of us who watched the show, we all have really big opinions of the very last episode of the show. So I wanted to know how all of you who were on the show felt when you read the script and found out what the final ending of Lost was actually going to be. Were you satisfied with it?
I was, because I survived. I was like, hey, whatever. If people come after you, I have a cabin in the woods. You guys can go hide. If the audience is mad at you, to the writers. But I liked it. I thought it was an almost impossible box they'd written themselves into. How are you going to get out of this? And I think they did a pretty good job of it. So I like the ending, even though I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, I like it too. I think they also left it open for conversation. So there's a lot of conversation that comes about it, which I think is important. But like you said, there was so much to answer in such a short amount of time. So, but yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I always feel when people ask that question, they're fishing or they didn't like it. So when I read it, first of all, I didn't want the show to end. I was having a great time, and I always felt there was more stories. Certainly for my character Desmond, I wanted more stories. So I was a bit disappointed. You know, people say I was bittersweet. I wasn't bittersweet. I just didn't want it to end. When I read it, I felt, I wish there was more story. Didn't have to end. So that's how I felt. But all in all, it was always about the journey. I'll never say anything negative about the show because I love the show. So.
So we have some big Juliet fans who are sitting over here, and I really just want you to say nice things about Elizabeth Mitchell, but do you have any interesting stories about working with her?
Yes. Working with Juliet, working with Elizabeth. First of all, she is the happiest person I've ever met, and I would try to poke at her, be like, you can't be this happy all the time. And she was. You could never shake her. She'd be like, oh, Josh. Like, you know, I was a child. But she was a pleasure to work with, always. And that really difficult scene we had to do where she dies in my arms at the bottom of the pit. We were so proud, and we had some champagne after, and we thought it was great. And then a week later they said, we're sorry, the whole scene was too dark. We have to shoot the entire scene again. And so we were like, no! How can we do that again? And because it was Elizabeth Mitchell, and she's such a professional, she nailed it again. We were able to do it again and still bring it to life. So there's nothing she can't do for me.
So I worked hard. I hardly worked with Juliet, with Elizabeth, but absolutely what Josh says. Whenever I did, she was a pleasure, delight, positive, always happy, fun. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about Elizabeth Mitchell.
Malcolm, I got a question for you. Walt was so mysterious and fans always seemed to want more of his story. Did the writers ever tell you where his arc was originally supposed to go?
The writers had so much going on, you know, but no, we never really got there. We never got there. I wish there was more, you know, like you said, but I enjoyed my time while I was there. You know, they got to bring me back, you know, we got to make something out of that, so, but I enjoyed it. What did you say?
What was that? Say it again? What? Say it again?
Oh, yeah, yes sir.
Hi. So as a fan and the group as well, we all wanted to say thank you for being part of the documentary Getting Lost. I feel it really gave us a little bit of closure and depth. So with that in mind, we have a two-parter. So for Ian, the question is, as you just said, my character could have gone further, the journey could have gone further. So for you, if you could have chosen that path, what path would it have been for Desmond?
So I saw myself with Penny and Charlie sailing the world and having lots of adventures, and the story would be the further adventures of Penny and Desmond. But then I spoke to Nestor Carbonell, and he had this great idea for doing like a little short series where we would bump into each other but not remember who we were at a therapist session, and we would just like pass each other in the corridor like, familiar? And I thought we still have plans to do something with that. That would be a really fun idea.
Please do. And for Josh, also on the documentary, you said that you kind of related yourself with where Sawyer was at the beginning of the show. And the character arc that Sawyer had was absolutely beautiful. So we were wondering if you as a person were going through the same sort of change at the time, or you just became awesome after.
I was going through all that. No, I mean, I really just, what was so fun about Sawyer was he started from the darkness and went towards the light, which is kind of where I was after 9 years of rejection in Los Angeles. To finally get a show, I was pretty dark at that point, and then as I got to continue to work, I went towards the light. So yes, my life kind of followed that arc as well. But what was fun about playing Sawyer's is I'm raised Southern. You don't say what you mean exactly all the time. You sugarcoat everything. It was really nice to play the alter ego and, you know, be Sawyer. So I enjoyed that part a lot. That was kind of therapy.
Hi, I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for making my childhood so amazing into my early teen years. But I have a question, if all three of you could answer it. Aside from your own character that you played, who is your favorite on the show?
Nothing. Look at us like,
I was glad I wasn't Matthew because he had to cry all the time. Locke, I liked Locke because I just thought it was so interesting that he started, you know, where he started in a wheelchair and in such a kind of weakened position, and that journey I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Locke. I love Charlie's story as well, but yeah, Locke was definitely one of my favorites. And to work with Terry, he's a great person. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's because Terry was such a great actor.
I love Josh too, though. I have to say that. I love Josh. I loved everyone. I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're good. I don't know. You know, was it Terry or was it Locke that I loved? You know, was it Michael Emerson or was it Ben?
Right.
Was it, you know? So they were just, you know, just gave great performances, and those characters were like ones that you certainly tuned into a lot. But having said that, I do think Desmond was always going to be my favorite.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I wrote mine down because I'm nervous. My sister just survived a stroke, and watching Lost has helped her to recover. So thank you for that. As actors, you have many challenges. What advice would you give her and others overcoming obstacles?
What advice would we give to somebody overcoming obstacles?
Overcoming obstacles. My sister's surviving a stroke right now, and you've helped her a lot. Your show has inspired her to get better and to heal and to walk. So
prayers to her.
Thank you.
Much love to her. Thank you for being here. Advice for overcoming obstacles?
Well, funny enough, right before I booked Lost, I was going to quit acting again, and this old sea dog that was in the boat next to me at the harbor said, most people quit when you only have 10% left to go, so don't quit. So I took that to heart and booked Lost right when I was quitting. So keep going, never give up. We don't give up.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great. We hear this a lot as actors on the show, how much the show meant to fans and how it got them through difficult circumstances, and I hear that a lot. I'm sure you guys hear that a lot as well. And it's not something that we take lightly, and we're just doing our jobs. But at the same time, when we hear things like that, the ripple effect of what we do, it just makes it so much more worthwhile. And that's why I'm so honored and so proud, and just love hearing those things. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you to your sister and love.
Hi. My question is, who is most like their character in real life and least like their character, and why?
Well, you know, here's the thing about playing a role. We are all, well, I like certain aspects of Desmond. I'm not as good as Desmond. But there's parts of me that are like Desmond, and I'd like to be more like Desmond. So I aspire to be, you know, as good and as noble as. But I do have that thing where I just keep going. You know, I don't. You know, I tend to just keep walking up that hill. So there's certain aspects of me that are in that character, of course, and every character that I play. So, you know, bits, not the great bits, the middle bits, as more like me.
I think a little bit of the same. You know, I was obviously a kid on the show, and just the father-son dynamic with Harold and I. You know, my parents were back in LA while I was in Hawaii, so you know, he was like my father figure out there as well. So you know, we really connected and bonded on that. So I would say that was you know, pretty similar to life and just everything that I was going through at the time. So yeah.
And yeah, like Ian said.
Ian Cusick, nice to meet you.
Like Ian said, every character has aspects of us. I mean, to me, that is the basis of character work. You find that aspect of you that is that character and blow it up and let your other colors kind of fade back, but they don't go away. You just blow up that aspect, so it is very much a part of you. And for me, like I said, I basically played my alter ego that I never get to do, being raised the way I was raised. So for me, it was great. It was therapeutic. I loved it. But I am not that as bold as Sawyer. I'll sugarcoat it for you.
Hi there. So I'm from Massachusetts, big Red Sox fan. And the Red Sox made so many appearances or references throughout one of the seasons. And of course, it was a huge time for us back home when they won the World Series. Whose idea was it, or who is the big Red Sox fan with the writers or the directors? Because I'll tell you, it was huge for us back home.
I don't follow the Reds. I'm guessing the baseball team, right?
Yes, I'm not sure who. I'm not sure who was the big Red Sox fan, but I do know that Carlton Cuse is a huge baseball fan. And so it might have come some influence that way because he has, you know, dugout season tickets for the Dodgers all the time. So he's baseball. Maybe it was Carlton.
I'm guessing it was Carlton, and if it was not Carlton, it was a friend of Carlton's, because there was Desmond had this. He had to sing the Celtic song, Glasgow Celtic. And it was a friend of Carlton's who was a big Glasgow Celtic fan who said, sing that song. If you know anything about Glasgow Celtic and Glasgow Rangers, in Glasgow, my name is, with the Rangers fans, they absolutely loathe me because I sang that song. Can't hear you. Put the mic. No, put the mic, we couldn't hear you.
Microphone's gone? Okay. Well, thank you.
We love you, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Hi, I was just wondering, you're on such a beloved show. Did you feel like you had found your niche after Lost ended, or did it make you want to go a different direction when booking different shows and movies as far as genre?
I just think Lost was like one of its kind, you know. But yeah, it's something about being in Hawaii and, you know, working with all these great people. Like you want to get that feeling again, and a great show. So not really chasing it, but you know, if it comes up, it's something you definitely want to get a part of.
I kind of wanted to cut my hair off and do that, so that's what I did. Didn't work out so great, but I liked it. You know, cut my hair short, wanted to be a spy. You know, so we tried that.
Oh, you did. You went on the Mission Impossible. That's right.
And then I did this show called Intelligence because I was
that's right. Yeah.
I wanted to use this kind of spy skill set, and then when I did it, I was like, what was I thinking? Sawyer was a lot more fun. So
Yeah, I had the same sort of experience. I left the show where I had long hair and 2 buttons on my shirt, and then I joined the show where I had to wear a suit and a tie, and I remember absolutely hating wearing the tie and the suit, and that didn't last very long.
How's it going, gentlemen? Just quick things I'm sure we all know. Lost, part of the culture is spoilers and avoiding spoilers, right? I know that Sawyer and Desmond both filmed footage in the coffin for a potential death reveal of, whether it was John Locke, Sawyer, or Desmond. Was there any kind of clue to you guys if that was the potential future of your characters? Or did you guys know it was like to avoid spoilers? Thank you.
Do you remember?
Well, I know they always threatened me, so I would stay in line. So I'm not really sure. I believed I was probably going to die at any moment.
Everybody had that feeling.
Yeah, when I did it, I knew, I was told, you're fine. This is what's going to happen. You're not dead. But just because they say that, anything could happen. So 80% of me was pretty okay, and then there was like, they could have hit me with, oh, by the way.
And I just reminded myself that Jack's father started off dead, and he lasted the whole show. So I'm like, okay.
Hi, I have 2 quick ones. One, how much are you still kind of connected with the rest of the cast? And then, how much do you watch or rewatch like lost episodes on your own time or with your family?
I've only seen them all once. Back then, 20 years ago. I need to rewatch it. I have 2 kids that have absolutely no interest in watching my stuff. So I haven't been able to share that with them, unfortunately. But yeah, I forgot the question.
And who are you still in touch with? Anybody?
Oh, do we stay connected? Yes. I haven't seen these 2 gentlemen in a long time. I saw Ian in Hawaii recently, so, but not a lot. Not a lot. Harold I see quite often, but that's about it.
Yeah, I haven't really watched the show since after we did it, and then I see people every now and again doing these, and Harold and Maggie, and saw Jorge at the reunion. I'm not the reunion, the Lost Talk. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so you see everybody every now and again.
I like Josh. I haven't seen the show since it aired, and I used to watch it with my family religiously as soon as it came out. Sometimes it might be on TV or some passing, or not on TV. I see clips. People send me some things, but no, not. I haven't seen a full episode. I find it difficult to watch. But who am I in touch with? I see Dan Kim a lot because he lives in Hawaii. I'm still friendly with Nesta. We sort of meet up every time I'm in LA. Josh, I saw it 4th of July. I think when he comes out to Hawaii. But besides that, that's it, really.
Hey guys, how are you? I wanted to ask you about the music as a character on the show, otherwise known as the Giacchino effect, how it enhanced the emotions and all that stuff.
That was something special, actually, because Michael Giacchino is a genius, and the fact that it was a live orchestra, and I had the experience, I was able to go while they scored an episode live, and that is something special. Because to see it without music, as we all know, is one thing. You add the music, it just takes it to another level, and Giacchino was phenomenal.
Have you been to one of his shows?
Yeah.
Where did you do it? In LA?
In LA, yeah. When they were scoring it, and you see the screen behind it, and it's just That was a magical experience.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I did one in Hawaii recently where I had to be you.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
No, I did my Josh
Did you not
Holloway.
shower for a week? Drank a lot of beer?
No, you know what? Evie had whiskeys, vodkas. She drank hers because she did it in that scene. You know the scene I'm talking about?
Yes.
But I heard that you didn't drink in that scene, so I was Josh Holloway not drinking. I refused to drink.
See? Professional.
He's professional. He's in control.
Yes.
But I agree, the music is phenomenal, and anyone who's seen one of those shows is usually blown away by it and just taken back to the show. To hear that music live, the orchestra live, with the images, it's very emotional. For me, I was very moved by the whole experience.
It always adds a different, element to it. So the music was great. I didn't get to go to one of the shows like they did. I definitely have to look forward to that. But it always just adds a different layer to it. That I love.
What's that?
Going back 20 years.
Around the campfire where we're doing the shots, truth or dare?
You had a word, a fun word.
I don't remember.
Does anyone remember his line when he was around the campfire? What was it? I never. Yeah, that's right. That scene.
I never.
But there was a catch. There's something else we said. You had a lot of lines that were all written in one. I had to read it out.
I can't remember.
You can't remember the script.
What I do remember about that scene was we had a lot of hate mail because I killed that frog. Remember the frog I squished? And in that scene, they wrote in that I had to say, the only regret I have is killing that frog. That was for the fans, to stop hating on Sawyer for squishing the frog.
So you killed a frog in a previous scene?
In a previous
and
scene,
you had to sing.
And then
Wow.
I had
Way to
to,
cover
we
up.
got so much hate mail. And it wasn't a real frog, by the way. It was a rubber frog. I didn't kill a real frog. But I thought that was funny.
If you guys could bring back one character who died on the show, who would it be and why?
We're terrible. We're not very good at this, are we? You should give us these questions in advance.
Well, I would have brought Charlie back maybe for some time. And Maggie, because you need all the beautiful
Maggie.
girls you can have on a show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those two. And who?
Juliet. Yeah.
Juliet, of course. But didn't she make it to the end?
Jack? Jack didn't make it to the end either, did he?
I don't remember who made it. Never mind. Never mind.
Did we make it to the end?
I don't know. Did we make it? I don't know.
So looking back, mid 2000s, you had season premieres, you had season endings, you had to wait every week for a new episode. And nowadays, instant gratification, shows all release. Do you think Lost would do or work as well in the day and age of the streaming era, or not?
No, I don't think so at all. I think that was one of the juiciest parts of the show, was waiting, and I kind of miss that in certain times when I watch things now. That instant, watch the next episode, and sometimes you fall asleep and the TV says, "Are you still watching?" But that water cooler moment of the show, of talking, and the start of the internet and chat rooms and the fuselage and people getting together trying to figure it out. I mean, I was all over the fuselage trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. So, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't have done as well, and no show does as well, because it's in our human nature. We have to allow our imaginations to take something in and explore it. And if you don't allow that, you lose that connection, the humanity connection to that character, because you're bombarded with another whole set of problems that character has. You're not able to contemplate or relate it to your own life or what in any character. I feel like the binge thing,
it wouldn't have worked. They had all the Easter eggs as well, all that thing. You know, you had to pause. Where is that Easter egg thing? Where is that? It was so rich, the show, that I don't think it would have worked at all had it just been, you know, a wash of TV.
it's the same thing with a box of chocolates. I mean, if I eat the whole thing, I don't like it as much as you eat one at a time.
You gotta savor it.
You gotta savor.
Did any of you guys do your own stunts, and if so, what was the most challenging stunt or action sequence you had to do on set?
My first episode, my first scene that I shot was running, and I had to trip, and I did it once, and I wanted to do it again, but Jack Bender was like, "No, you're not doing it. The stunt guy's doing it." And do you remember they had the terrible wigs?
Yes.
They had some really awful wigs. My stunt guy has this awful wig. No, I wasn't really allowed to do anything dangerous. Running, I could do that. I could do the running parts and I could do the swimming parts, but nothing that was falling over.
Oh, they put me through hell. Are you kidding me? I did all that shit. I mean, the worst was swimming out there trying to get that rudder or something. I was in the deep blue ocean out there, and I felt like shark bait so bad. I swam so fast to get back to that raft. And then when they steal a wall and they blow up the raft, and I'm floating in the water at night. I'm a fisherman. I know sharks feed at night, you know, and so that was terrifying for me. Splashing around, wounded, you know, just looking like shark bait. And so, yeah, I did a lot of the stunts. Good times.
I didn't have too many stunts.
The flashbacks, the flash forwards, and time jumps made the storytelling of Lost unique. Was it ever confusing to keep track of where your character was in the timeline?
Oh yeah, that whole, when we were all like, the timeline was shifting and we were like shaking, and then we'd, you know, they'd be like, okay, everybody fall on the ground and shake, and you know, it was like the shake and bake scenes, you know, we're just like, and then you get up and then you're in whatever era, and then you're back on the ground shaking again, and it became comedy actually, because we were like, you can't shake like that, I'm shaking like that, you know, I'm doing that one, don't do the arm, that's me, you know, so that was ridiculous and funny.
I remember seeing some bloopers of was it Jeremy and Rebecca doing the time travel thing, and it just looks ridiculous.
And then they just started dancing in one of them. They were just like, we're all shaking on the ground, they're all dancing, and we're like, okay.
Time travel is hard. The shaking thing, I don't think it worked. Desmond's character, his time travel was all in his head, so that was a little bit easier to act, and thankfully I was in one costume and then I would fall and then be in a different costume, so I knew where I was, so that was easier for me. I prefer that. I never had to do the shaking thing.
The pilot episode is still considered one of the greatest of all time. What do you remember most about filming those early episodes?
The pilot episode, I remember this. I remember we filmed it all and it was so magical and everything, and then we got to LA and the producer, Brian Burke, had an unsweetened version of the pilot. It had been cut with no corrections, no music, no nothing, and we all watched it over at Ian Somerhalder's place. And I remember I got in the car with my wife and we both started crying and we're like, this is the worst thing we've ever seen in our lives. We were like, and I assured her, I said, I swear I'll get another job, babe. Just hang in there. It was awful to see it, like no music.
Why? Why did he show you that version?
I don't know, it was just the dailies kind of cut, and it wasn't, and so we literally sat in the car and cried. And then when it came out, the pilot, we were in shock. Like, what? This is not what we saw. So pretty interesting how they can put it all together. It becomes something else.
Did you watch the pilot?
I did. I loved the pilot. You know, we got to go to Hawaii for 3 weeks. I mean, for however long, and shoot the pilot. But I didn't really get to be around all the plane and everything like that. But it was great. I mean, just coming back home and figuring out if we're gonna get the show picked up, you know, was amazing.
Because you were how old? 12?
Yeah, 12, 13.
So you would just fly in, do your stuff, and fly home?
Yeah, I mean, for the pilot, we just did one episode and came back.
Right, because we never worked together. And I only worked with you once.
Only one time?
That's right.
We were hunting the
the
pig.
bull.
I was trying to get on
shooting.
people's good
That was
side.
the only, we only had one scene together. Isn't that weird?
We had quite a few together, which the raft stuff was fun. But I remember him sitting in my car, you know, I had this Mercedes at the time. He's like 12, he's sitting there checking it out, like, I'm gonna give you one of these. I said, don't you worry, your time's coming, Malcolm. You remember that sitting in the car?
Do you have a Mercedes? Do you have a Mercedes?
He's got a bit.
He's got a Porsche. I never saw the pilot. Even now I haven't seen the pilot. Yeah, I never saw it. It has this scary plane crash in it. So I don't want to watch that.
All right.
All right, well, gentlemen, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Let's give them a big round of applause.